It's very good in the air also, for sure.
Let's take a look at the Vexx roster. They're starting 3. You're talking about them. J-Raw, Turtle, and Garrett.
What game is this? Is this iBP Power again? If this is iBP Power, I'm going to leave it on. I think it is. It is. It's Cosmic vs. Vexx. I'm going to watch this one.
J-Raw is kind of like that rocking the third man spot. Right. And he's usually the one that is most inconsistent. So if he can start
yeah, Espeon's a god in the air. I forgot about Espeon actually. I've just been very impressed by Garrett G recently. I thought he was worth giving a shout out. And his best aspect of his game is definitely aerials.
Show that he is that star player that we, kind of pumped him up to be this morning.
Latch is best looking. Are you kidding me, mate? Alright, dude. You go declare your love to Lachinio, my friend. See how that works out for you. Isn't it Latch is like 14 or something? Or 15, I don't know. He's a child.
Which they always have a hard time with. I'll just keep saying 4-1s.
Best overall ball control, Marky Duda. The best voice is Low 5. I don't know. Low 5's got a cool low voice, but I don't know. When he starts speaking in a higher pitch, it sounds pretty whiny. Latch is really good at looking in the mirror. Holy cow. What a comment. Nah, the best voice is probably Findable Carpet on the RLCS desk. He's got a crazy good like movie announcer voice. Go and ask him to say stuff like this summer. And he just sounds incredible. Best decision maker. Best decision maker. Remco, maybe? Rizzo's also got good decision making. But I think of Rizzo, he's really good at rocking on the chair. Best looking pro over age 18. I don't know. I've not seen them all. I've not seen all the pros. I can possibly comment. Best voice scrub.
So yeah, one game will be helpful. That'll get rid of
Google voice meter. I don't know if I want to.
You want to win all the ones you can. 5-0 is probably be a little difficult for Vexx to pull away with, but I think close as long as iBP doesn't show up getting those fancy things like we saw Lachinio do. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, those fancy things, man. We might see a few.
So Leafix's haircut definitely looking better now that it's grown out a little. The blend is coming back, and of course James's haircut is elevated to a whole other level since last week with the nice little boy band impression.
With a good sheet flying over everyone. J-Raw ready for that. No problem.
Yeah, we'll have to keep your eye on Garrett.
Best in-game leader.
This team,
I don't know, Gibbs maybe?
So I want to see him step up and play again.
Gibbs? Pashi's a good leader. Who else is a good leader? RG, or Team Solid as they've renamed, they don't really have a leader as such, but they're just really good communication. That was an okay shot. It would have actually been better to miss on purpose though. Sometimes it's better to miss a goal.
And Kronobi trying to work with him, does get that second touch, but that was not the most effective breakout there.
Garrett to J-Raw up over top of the bar. But we'll see if they can get a play started up. They can't.
Talking about haircuts during match, I analyze all the things.
Trying to get a redirect. Kronobi almost does that. He saw Lachinio doing that. He wanted
2 players going for the redirect. It's the classic iBP Power and another dodgy challenge by Lachinio, and they've lost the goal. Unsurprisingly, this is like typical iBP. Just 2 players going up for the same ball, and then actually Gambit with an uncharacteristic giveaway. But Lachinio, when you're the last man back right there, Lachinio should not be going for that challenge. It's so risky. He should just know that he's not making it there in time. Who has better team play, Kapow or Solid? Probably Solid.
And then taking advantage is Gambit.
Yes, right away, the response, you could see.
So this is why going in the corner is so risky. Like, J-Ra's just like, oh crap, oh dear, oh no. I mean, he could have saved that, but it isn't easy because he put himself in the corner. It's not an easy position. I have a 10 out of 10 beard? Nah, I think Carpet's got a 10 out of 10 beard. I've got like, maybe 7 out of 10.
Kickoff goals, always a feels bad, man. We'll see if Kronobi can get a real goal set up. Can't challenge by J-Raw. Picking it up on the ground as Lachinio throws it in a circle. Beats out again by J-Raw.
I've been incorporating the miss the goal strategy a little bit too much into my own game. Just a little bit too much.
Throws it right past Turtle, leaving that for Gambit to follow up. He wins the contest. This is no one in net, but probably not going to be able to create a play quick enough.
Oh, damn.
Yes, you saw there,
He even
Gambit
jumped
was very
into that
physical.
one.
There was one game
Brutal.
against, I believe it was Kings of
I'll say
Earth.
Gambit's probably the
Got
best at
punched
no
two
ball
players
cam
out of that.
aerials.
So Gambit
He's probably the
got
best at
afraid
no
to
ball cam
bust
aerials.
that
I already
one.
said best positioning,
Showed his
Remco.
loss.
Kronovi just leaving that one. Just a nice little touch to get one attacker away from that ball, but the second one connects. Almost going on target. Turtle roll this one up the wall. It takes his
But like
time.
players who have
Nice,
good positioning
pass
on the
out,
NA
but
side
not
would be
far enough. Kronovi's
Gambit,
steal that one from under his
Pluto.
hood, I guess would be hit, and shot from Gambit. Oh, Turtle.
He should have scored that.
Yeah,
Too
Turtle,
low.
He is so patient. He's been doing that all RLCS.
Best
long.
Twitch
Just
emote for
plays
Rocket
the
League,
slow
Mike
clears.
Rules. He's got
Also
Spleen
does great
Shalthus
patient
and
mark.
Spleen the living room.
Garrett,
So he's
nice touch
comfortably
off
got the best
ball,
emotes.
Throwing that way deep down into IBP's zone. Kronovi
That's right, Flarky.
that one past the
We
attacker.
combine very
Lost
well
another
to create
attacker.
goals in
Doesn't
our
have a
own net.
teammate to help him out, though.
Best
Bounce
boost
back into
sealer.
the zone. Back to midfield, Turtle. Keeping the
hmm.
pressure on for Vexx. Keeps it in the zone.
I don't know if there's like a best boost stealer. I think everybody just does that.
Struggle to get back.
Fireburner used to do that really, really well, but he's kind of adopted a more defensive role on this new look Kings of Urban.
Just put it wide.
Does Fire have good positioning? He's got the best positioning out of anyone in his team defensively. Offensively, Jacob and Sad are good at positioning for creating chaos and redirects and stuff. Most overrated players, Cucks and Kronovi.
Oh my goodness!
Because all of Cux's and Kronovi's fans think that they're the best player in the world, and neither of them are. So they're overrated, but they're still very, very good. Like borderline top 10 players in the world, if not top 10 players. And Kronovi's a very smart guy as well. I respect him a lot.
And he's showing it today, but just couldn't connect with the back of the net with that one. See if they can get another play set up.
Best
Those are the
car
IBP
control, that's
plays
too
we've been
vague.
waiting for.
Which
Kronovi,
pro has the
Jared
best
Harris
banter?
back to midfield.
You could see Kronovi wanted to go for that.
I have to say my boy Marky,
So he wasn't able to get that second touch.
he's got some good banter.
Still very strong but close matchup between these two teams. So
And of
far.
course Mike Rules,
Very close.
great banter
Even in the
also.
final minute of gameplay, still 1-1.
I enjoy Jacob's
IBP
banter, and
versus
I like
Vexx.
the he asks, or everything that Jacob says is a question.
Just barely correctly, but Gambit puts that a little bit high.
See, there you go, the benefits of missing the net with your first hit. Beautiful by Gambit, intentionally hitting the bar, making it so difficult for Turtle to get up in time to get this. So much better for Gambit to miss the goal right there than put it on target.
To deny that shot. He didn't play the hit. He had faith. He stayed true to that back.
Best keeper to Messi user was Gino Cup.
2-1.
Now he's gone.
Very smart too.
I think
He waited
Lauta
to make
uses
sure
keeper
that
to
he was
mouse from
gonna get this
EU,
right,
and
totally
Karate
did,
Power,
and that's when he followed up.
and Ryuk.
Gambit with the long shot
They're all
out
very
to
good.
Luchinio goes a little bit wide of the net, but still on
Best
the
looking
offense, see if
car,
they can keep that pressure
Chad.
on. Gambit with a good center out. No one there to follow it up, and this could be a scoring opportunity.
yeah.
J-Ron Turtle,
Good
the
demo.
demo, no! Oh, Garrett, the follow-up. That was
Hmm.
close.
Yeah.
Why
for a
is this
second
wide
there, it
open?
didn't seem like anybody from Vexx
Is it
was
just
gonna
like
make it to the hit,
IBP
but Turtle got
overextending
that
again?
clutch. J-Rod just takes
Yeah.
Kronovi out, and
Wait, why did
nobody was
Luchinio
back
turn
in
away?
time.
What?
Garrett just finishing that one off.
Quickest
Garrett comes up
reactions.
huge
I mean,
against
a lot
the
of
second of the
reactions in
match.
Rocket League isn't really reacting, it's just predicting.
37 seconds left.
It looks like a reaction, but it's actually just a prediction. And in that regard, sure, Scrub is great at predicting, especially in 1v1.
Yeah, you can see
If anyone wants to see a great showcase of prediction skills, watch Scrub vs Gambit 1v1s from Scrub Killer's most recent stream.
Yeah, it's
You'll see
tough 'cause
Scrub
you-
consistently
if you're
calling
elastic, I
out
mean,
what
you have
Gambit's
two
going to do
people
before he
up
does
on
it.
that. Oh, okay. Garrett takes it.
It's just so poor from iBP Power again. Luchinio going for the ball carry into the dribble there, I feel like is wrong most of the time. He would have been more reliable if he just didn't carry the ball and tried to take a shot or go for a fake from beside the ball.
There should have been somebody there to come in behind him. We talk about rotations all the time, but Kronovi had nobody saving his back there.
Scoring
Now
opportunity,
iBP Power's going to be in trouble.
though.
Most
Oh, could've been a
consistent
little
player.
too far.
Since
What
I
a
haven't
nice
mentioned his
ball
name, I'll say
across the front of the
Greasy.
net. Still up in the air. Luchinio is up to challenge us. You don't want him up in the air with that much time left.
Wow.
And that's going to be Vexx taking game one.
Yeah, that is a huge result for Vexx. They're making a statement in this first
But yeah,
game,
Greasy's
getting
very
that series.
consistent.
And when they're playing,
Look at iBP Power's goals that they conceded this game were so bad. It was just like typical IBP throwing two people at the same ball up front, and then we saw Luchinio making a bad challenge, some bad shot selection from iBP Power on some occasions, going for the goal instead of missing on purpose. Luchinio carrying the ball, which I don't think is
I don't think
optimal.
anybody would want to play Cosmic off the bat. That's not a good start into the bracket. But they're doing a very good job of showing they can compete with teams of this caliber right now. So see if going into game
Look
2,
at the
Vexx
difference
deal
in
with
James
it.
Watt's haircut this week to last time.
It's
He
still
looked
gonna
like
be
a
an
little
uphill
schoolboy
battle,
haircut, and now he looks like
we've
a
seen
he's
some of those
fresh out
fights
of
from IBP
the
that, we love to
Next
see.
catalog.
If they can
Do you even
keep
get
that up,
Next?
it
Is
could
Next
go
a
the
shop
other way
in
for Vexx.
On
America?
the flip side,
Or is that
Vexx,
just in the
they
UK?
stepped up huge, making a statement with that first
Worst
goal
player with the name
early
Johnny Boy
and
underscore
connecting
I?
to Garrett. That was an amazing play
Me?
by Vexx. They're gonna need more of
Seal
those,
Harbor,
but
what's up,
still,
dude?
They have that first game. They're gonna everything after this, just a little gold nugget. Like I was saying before, every point against this top team, Cosmic has not.
You hope
been
Mark
every
gave
point,
Mike a
so-
bollocking after what I imagine. Well, you mean to say what Mike said about me that was out of order, even if he was high at the time? No, it was fine. I don't mind. I thought it was hilarious. I was looking for an odd shot so I could tweet it.
Rotating around,
For anybody
he has
who's wondering,
IBP.
Mike said that
They
I
get this
should put
cleared
a
out.
disclaimer in all my
Defenders
videos that they're all satire, and that nobody should listen to what I say because I'm a terrible player. When he said it, I just burst out laughing, and then immediately afterwards the chat was just like, shots, shots, shots. They thought that Mike hated me, but nah, we're good. He said so himself, he only said that because he knew I could take it. We're seeing the typical mistake from IBP. Well, this is like a mistake that lots of teams make, like Gambit or Lichinio, just driving like around to make a 180 and face the ball like as he's taking it away from his goal, instead of just driving at it and rebounding it away from the net, which is far more reliable
You
and
gotta
safe.
know where you're going. You can't be driving in circles.
Can ABP compete with the top EU teams? Right now, no, but I think they'll probably be whipped into shape by the time the line comes around, and they'll be definitely be a force to be reckoned with.
One defender, Gambit, tries to mind game him, doesn't win out on that one. Lichinio just trying to get the block on J-Rod. There is Gambit.
Oh yeah, I did wreck
Probably
you.
one better touch on that. Kronovi,
Well, I mean, that's a good team play. We just see a bit of a misplay by, I think it was Garrett. Garrett's really great in attack, but not the best in defense. Look how he just like drives off the line, turns around, then he's not even facing the ball or facing away from it. He should probably just stick in his line there instead of driving off and then making a 180. I don't like that close cheat. I keep saying this. Doing a close cheat while sending the other player to get the back boost is so unreliable. You often just lose the pressure immediately. In fact, most of the time you lose the pressure straight after the kickoff because you're not covering much of the pitch between all three of your players, with two people being so close to one another and the other person being miles away in the corner. Best team at communicating? I was always very impressed by Pashy's communication in the old Crown and Jewels lineup, so I imagine that it's more of the same in Mucket EU.
Yeah, and just notice again that Lichinio is staying in the back, just like Gambit was saying.
RG, now Team Solid, are great at communicating.
So as soon as he starts feeling comfortable in the back, in that position, I would expect iByPower to start taking...
What was I talking about before I got sidetracked by IBP?
Can get out of this mindset.
Lichinio pushing that away from J-Rock.
Oh yeah, but I mean, I'm just like, I'm one of the worst well-known players, but I'm also well-known. I'm not well-known for being a player. Most of my, most of the people who know me because of casting or stuff like that.
Kronovi was ready for that as well, though, but it didn't go on target. Good block from J-Rock.
But I mean, I'm probably still like a top 1% player.
He's gonna have an easy save there. Not great placement on the shot.
Garrett Kronovi up there. Kronovi wins this one.
Just like
Pushes it right
from a
past
purely mathematical
Garrett.
standpoint.
Last defender, J-Rock demo. Good demo from Garrett. Stops any
Soft
chance
clear
of a
straight to
play start for
Lichinio.
IBP.
It's
Yeah,
not
and
good.
Garrett follows it up with a good
Lichinio
clear,
kind of
but
just
Gambit
hits it
can
straight
shut
back
that
into the
down.
corner though.
Garrett has been playing very well in this series, getting those goals, playing physically, just having a presence on the field.
Oh, what pass.
We're halfway
Oh, this is
through
actually Garrett's
game number
fault for the
2
first
of Vexx
goal.
versus
I'd say,
IBP Cosmic. Vexx
mainly.
taking game 1. Looking to
Freedom
take
Girls are
another
the
one,
best
but
at
they are
communication.
tied
I've never
up,
heard them
even
talk.
on the scoreboard,
Never heard them
1-1.
talk, so I can't comment. I'm
Both
sure that
teams
they're very
getting a lot of
organized though,
demos
because
coming
they're
out here from
always...
Vexx. Shot.
Oh, what
Kronovi
a horrendous
block.
shot from...
Yeah, J-Rock put
From
that
J-Ra,
right in the
straight at the
middle of
net.
He had the whole net to
Which
shoot
team
at.
do I expect to win RLCS? If I had to call it right now, Weedham Girls.
Pressure continued by Vexx, not letting iByPower get comfortable.
Fancy play almost coming out of Vexx there, but good block from J-Rod. That's going a little bit too far. Lichinio has some time to roll that up the wall.
Most people will still know me for the, or probably still know me for the spinning ball stream. I think most people know that that was me, but I didn't really gain a massive following from that. I definitely gained a lot of popularity from that, but most of my popularity came from casting.
But some
and making
overcommitments
videos.
almost resulted in a goal. Let's see if they can get a play set up here. That ball's in front of the net with Lichinio. That's always a dangerous situation. Kronovi to follow it up. Lichinio with the redirect. Oh, pushes it out.
Why do I think that IBP send 2 for the ball so much? I think it's because their mentality when they're going for the ball is, can I score this? And if the answer is yes, then they go for it. Instead of asking a much better question would be, am I likely to score this? And then
so far in this
that
game,
would be
but
a
it's
better
still a
approach to
low-scoring
take,
game yet
because
again.
they might think, yeah, I could score this maybe like 3 times out of 10, but those 7 times out of 10 that I'm not scoring are going to screw over me and my team, so I'm not going to go for it. Just, you know, rotate out, leave it for someone else, wait for a better opportunity. That's a great pass from Crow. Gambit just quick to the ball. Best PS4 player? I don't really know, because PS4 is like so wrought with people turning off crossplay and
by J-Rob, but if they can keep up the momentum in the next few games,
smurfing.
prove to be a bad
I'll say
solution.
Dapper, just because I know that he plays on his main at very high rated 1v1 play, and he's a very good player. So Dapper's probably the best PS4 player that I've seen. Best technique for new players? That's a bit of a vague question. Scoring goals is probably the best place to start. Best possible team of players?
Excuse me, coming 30 seconds left.
Yes, 30 seconds left indeed. Go take a sip of water. And in the
Oh, we got some
here,
coughing in the
iBP
casting
needs
desk.
to just
The rap god has run out of
Vexx,
steam.
Who is knocking at the door.
Best possible team,
Lachinio,
huh?
again, trying to be the defensive guy. Vexx
I mean, that's a
very
really
much
tough one,
but
because
it's gonna be
obviously
iBP.
I'd want to
Looks
put
unless they can force it in.
Oh no!
I'd want to put
Almost
somebody
30
like
seconds left,
Gambit
ball's
in
still
there,
the air.
but Gambit's such a
Tried to get a jump on
oddball,
Yeah, that
for
one-
lack of a better
good
word.
to see Cosmic come out
I don't know
and,
if I could
take
put
this one back.
2 players
Vexx,
around him that would
they
just
played
work
they
and be the
put a
best
lot
team in the
of pressure
world.
on Cosmic the whole game. You see there only a 2-1 scoreline, but Gambit steps up.
I don't think Marky's 1v1 mentality is affecting Flipside, necessarily. I think it's just Flipside as a whole, they don't communicate very well. They often don't spread themselves out very well in attack, and they don't trust each other in defense enough, and they're all a bit selfish sometimes. It's like different types of selfishness. Like Marky will go for too many balls. That's how he's too selfish. Mike will like overstay in an aggressive position, which is kind of being selfish with positioning. And then Cux will like his selfishness is like not talking to his teammates to improve his own play, because he thinks he'll play better if he doesn't talk, but he's making his teammates play worse by not talking, because he's not sharing information that he can see, and he's not telling them what he wants to do.
They really want to avoid getting that 4th spot, and really they're fighting for their spot.
But they have so many opportunities to hit those 3 out of 10 shots, they can just land them every once in a while. Well, okay, to amend that statement I made about 3 out of 10 shots, the decision-making process that you need to make in an instant in Rocket League has to be along these lines. How many times am I scoring this shot out of 10? How many times is my team benefiting from me going for this shot? And how many times are we getting punished? How many times are we actually getting scored on directly from a counter-attack if I fail? That's like the 4 options. And if the cons outweigh the pros, you just shouldn't go for it. And I feel like a lot of the time iBP go for really, really low percentage shots, which take players out of position, waste boost, break rotation, send 2 people over the same ball, and if they just didn't do those things, they would have more opportunities to just attack like we damn girls do, where it's like a constant pressure, you know, shot after shot, pressure after pressure upon pressure. And you don't need to take low percentage shots. Eventually there's going to be an open net opportunity, or just a much easier to execute finish.
Yeah, silly goal indeed.
Is that why they leave Latch back so much? I don't think they leave Latch back necessarily. Crow overstays in attack and goes for too many things in attack, just throws his car at the ball. Like, we just saw him do it there. Like, he's just throwing himself at the ball for very interesting reasons. I don't know why. Let's see, Lachinio's going in for this. And okay, we don't see Crow, but Crow's kind of throwing himself at the ball right there. I usually see Gambit as the most defensive, and definitely the most solid in defense. Scrub isn't as good as he used to be. Yeah, Scrub got a little bit burnt out. He's not as good as he used to be. He's still a really, really good player, though. And it won't take long for him to get back up and be one of the best.
This is in front of their net. Bad situation for iBP as Turtle capitalizes.
Turtle trying to keep Vexx in this here. You see Garrett up on the wall, gets a good pass, but
So we have the chameleon impression by both Kronovi and Lachinio just trying to blend into the blue wall. Gambit prefers to be in goal and defense. That's another thing, I don't like when players are in the goal so much as when they're beside the goal. Like the old scrub killer 1 versus 1 defensive positioning style is far superior in my opinion to being in the goal with the old Gibbs method. Just because you can clear the ball with momentum to the side. F3 have been number 1 for so long, pretty much comfortable that they haven't been bothered to improve as a team. Now they're being challenged, they try to get away with bad habits or precoms and trying to learn to use to work. Yeah, F3 used to just win without even trying. And they can't do that anymore. To the surprise of nobody, I hope. But yeah, bad habits. Definitely there were a lot of bad habits. Like Mike and Cux and Marky all took a good sweet time to learn how to do the fast aerial. I know Mike only recently added that to his game. So they were just slow up into the air. They used to get bullied by teams like Kapow and Supersonic Avengers because they could all do the fast aerial and Flipside couldn't. So they were just losing aerial battles and getting beaten to the ball in the air. And I used to hear Mike say things like, "Oh, these players, they're bad players. All they do is they rush the ball." But I mean, oh, what pass! Well done. But I mean, there's a skill to being fast, so I don't know. It was kind of just an excuse to me.
He was trying to dribble it, but he actually just went for the delay, passes it right over to J-Ra, who puts it in. Very heads-up play by Turtle.
But yeah, I see Cux in the chat saying he doesn't talk because he trusts them. They tell me if I'm going for a ball or not. I decide what to do, looking their movement or they're moaning. Talking would just be making wrong decisions. Be me making wrong decisions. Yeah, Cux, you're definitely right. I think that in the short term, if you started talking in games, your own play would take a hit. But in the long term, I think it would be hugely beneficial for you and any team that you're a part of if you learned how to communicate in-game. Even simple stuff like "I got it" or "I have no boost" or just stuff like... Even like small things, like somebody, like let's say Mark or Mike make a mistake and say, they're just like, "Oh, I can't believe I missed that," and then you just say, "It's okay, we got this." You know, that's really important, just to let your teammates know that you trust them, that you got their back. It's a really underrated aspect, just the mental aspect of the game. But don't get me wrong, like I wish the best for Cux, I absolutely do, and I only make comments about communication because I want to encourage him to try communicating with his team. I think it would be a huge benefit for him in the long term. Although I agree in the short term it would be a really what an own goal. But anyway, in the short term it would be there would be a lot of growing pains. You might get confused and struggle to struggle to focus, but I think you would learn very, very quickly how to just communicate efficiently and effectively. But all the best to you, dude. I really hope that you and Mike and Marky do well tomorrow. I'll be cheering for you.
Gambit getting bullied around by Turtle. That's an open net. Lachinio now has ball control. A lot of body bumping coming up from Vexx.
Nah, yeah, man, I've definitely helped Scrub a lot with his team play. I mean, I heard from a lot of people before I played a Scrub that Scrub is a toxic guy, and that people didn't like playing comms with him. So I was trying to like teach him how to communicate effectively in a game, and not to try and be an in-game coach. It's better to talk about how to improve outside the game rather than bringing it inside the game and saying, "You got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this, you got to hit that, you got to score that, you got to save that, Lachinio." You know. That's not the best way to be communicating to your team.
Solid pressure here against Vexx.
Very smart touch from Gambit.
Yeah, fast aerials like in Linker's video.
30 seconds left. Kronovi with a shot on the net, tried to squeak it into the far close corner.
I mean, if you're still listening, Cux, I feel like a lot of the things from F3 are just like, it used to work, so we might as well keep on just doing what we do, instead of trying to make a change. What a pass by Crow, that was really well done.
3 blue players. Lachinio's the one that put that in, but man, you could have put all 3 of their names.
But if I was like the coach of F3 and I had full control over what the players did, I would be quite strict with building up an effective communication system. What a save from Turtle.
Only a 1-goal deficit, but still down to 15 seconds left. Garrett with ball control. Can he get it out to his teammate? He can't. Back to, oh wow, the team. Oh, what a great, all 3 players touching that ball. but just get stopped.
Yeah, I've heard Cox
6 seconds
talk,
into
and I
the
think his
match.
English is
Goals
really,
up
it's
for
great.
iBP.
It's much better than my
One,
Italian,
another
that's
one
for
it looks
sure.
like they're gonna try
I think
as
Cox
the
would do
ball's not
fine
gonna die out.
speaking.
Vexx no longer able
I encourage
to
him to do
this one out.
so.
Yeah, Vexx, they did their best, but iBP starting to
And I hope that they win the
like
group.
their
They
normal
come
selves
first, because
there.
that's what I
See
predicted,
a
and I
lot
want
of
to be
shots
right.
from Turtle and
'Cause I like
saves, so
being
Turtle
right.
doing a lot there, but really just too much for them to handle.
And we talked about Garrett last week being a very
Cox
strong
used to
player.
talk sometimes at the beginning, you don't know
Zero
why he
shots.
stopped. Well, he said why he
Absolutely no
stopped. He
shots.
stopped because he felt like it was distracting him. But I think it was just growing pains. You just gotta stick at it. Sometimes
Yeah,
improvement.
the matches that, and even the
I'm
matches that
gonna
Vexx
pause because this is important. To improve yourself as a player, no matter what area you want to improve in, you have to operate outside of your comfort zone. You must operate outside of your comfort zone if you want to improve. If you're just gonna stay and do whatever's comfortable for you, you're not gonna improve. You're just gonna stagnate. And that can be communication, it can be mechanics, it can be strategy. If you're not doing things that you're not comfortable with, then you're not going to improve. You have to step outside of your comfort zone, take on these small challenges. But no, I don't mean like go massively outside your comfort zone. You don't need to like go and say 100 words a minute in a game, going from nothing to 100 words a minute. You just need to start bringing in tiny bits of communication to your game. Even just like I've got it, or you take it. I don't have boost. I'm in net. I'm behind you. These small things are really important to communicate. And with regards to mechanics, if you want to just learn one day, right, I just want to get better at shooting today, then you go into games and you just focus on shooting, and you really focus hard on shots from the ground. Or if you want to do fast aerials, you do that. If you want to do challenges, you go into the game with your sole goal of not taking yourself out the game with a bad challenge. Like, that's just putting yourself outside your comfort zone in very specific areas. That's how you improve as a player. And I mean, I've paused the video because I wanted to be able to give that train of thought quickly without getting distracted. So that's what I mean when I'm talking about, you know, short-term growing pains for a long-term goal.
And it was so close. I mean, just one play was the difference between
What Dark Horse
iBP
team do you
beating
think will
Vexx
show up
and
big next season?
Vexx and Rocket Royale. Now here in RLCS,
What do you mean next season?
iBP has been stellar.
What is next season? Like RLCS season 2? I don't know. It's a long way away.
2 games left. Points matter, especially for Vexx. IBP already guaranteed.
I'd say the new
start
Crown
top
and Jewels
4.
team, maybe.
Vexx has people chasing them for that 4th spot, so they really need to get some wins. A shot coming out. Kronovi as he blocks.
That's good, Karma Rob. That's
Putting a
good.
spot for Lichinio as he dribbles that on his nose.
What is Kronovi doing? What is that?
That would have been a
That's
great
so unnecessary.
Never know what to expect,
They've like
especially when you
taken
got
2 other players out the game, used like all their boost, and now they're getting attacked on. For crying out loud, Kronovi, will you just calm down with the montage plays? Like, see, they don't need montage plays. They just score. Just score normal goals, man.
Yeah, that one,
Second
he was
qualifiers,
very-
yeah, the new Crown and Jewels team then.
Greatest hit there, and
They're gonna be
and, Kronovi both
like
got
currently
a
they're
piece of that
unknown,
one.
so
And we're
they're
gonna
dark
zoom
horse in that
there.
regard.
So long ranger, a snipe from iBP.
I've got a little bit of insider info on that one because I have been coaching them and doing a little bit of team management and consulting.
But Kronovi's going to push that back to midfield. Gambit try to get a little bit of redirect. Kronovi still on the ball, but Garrett's going to win that one out. Gambit.
What's the new
keeps
CJ
that one
team?
on the side, gets a nice little
Classic
poke on it.
Yemen
That's gonna
wanting
go
to
back
be
out front.
first to know
Gambit
everything.
defender,
Go figure,
Lichinio
Yemen. Go
just barely
figure.
making it back in time to help, but no shot coming out from Vexx onto IBP.
What do I think of Jazer's new team, JJJ? I think that Jazer is the worst player on his new team. But no, that aside, I think they're doing very well. And Jazer does have a key part to play in that team. I've been very impressed by Krazak. He's got some great finishing ability, very big threat, and Ryuk is really good at just positioning and hard clearing the ball. What is Lichinio doing? Lichinio, just leave. Just go home. Go home. Gambit wants to come in and you're blocking him because you're confusing him. For crying out loud, this is iBP what they do. They're just like, saw, dude. I'm just going to chill in front of the net. Hope you're alright with that, teammates. I'm just gonna sit here. How would you rank the top 5 NA? Top 5 what? Players, teams?
He moves up himself. Lichinio waiting for a pass patiently, and there it is. Doesn't go right to him though. He misses out on that opportunity, but oh wow! Kronovi gets credit for this one as it just squeaks in the far
Yeah,
side.
this is a long
That's
range
just a
shot,
bad
and this is
clear.
a tough situation. If you're
The good old clear to the middle of the pitch, and
Gambit
Gambit with the fake.
Or if he is going to just let it go. So it puts you in a really tough spot because
Mark might just try to stay as they were. We don't have any way of doing things except trusting. But still... Oh, sorry, I didn't realize that was Cux's comment. When I realized I didn't understand the game at all, it was too late. I've become a new player after 3 or 4 months of effort, while Mark might just try to stay as they were. We don't have any way of doing things except trusting, but still, if anything changes, we'll be after RLCS. Yeah, it seems wise to wait until after RLCS to make a change. And by the way, this is paused because the stream crashed, and I'm going to have to load up the second part of the VOD. So let me go ahead and do that. I need to load up the second part of the VOD because the stream crashed. Silly stream. Here it is. Why is it not dark
They have
mode?
it.
Oh.
They have it.
But yeah, I know that Cux has. I've
They
seen
have
Cux
it.
has been
They
trying to
have it.
change
There's
his
another shot, no one in net.
his
They're gonna be
playstyle.
doing some dances.
He's been trying to change his playstyle and change his car, bringing out the Batmobile. It's good to see.
It's the ultimate BM.
But yeah, my top advice to you, Cux, would just be to try and put yourself out of your comfort zone. Just start talking. It's never too late. It's never too late to make a change. That's a great pass by Garrett. Really, really great pass. Because the goalkeeper, who was Gambit, doesn't know if Garrett's going to redirect that ball at the net or just dump it straight down for the pass. Do I think SA will get into the groups in the second qualifier? Absolutely. I'd be hugely surprised if they don't, because I know Doomsy's going to be playing in the second qualifier. I think they'll qualify with no losses. Do I think A Money TV is underrated? No, I think he's overrated.
Gambit getting bullied as Turtle is like, give me the ball.
Teams, top 5 teams, was it in NA?
Yes,
a lot of physical play we saw from Kings of Urban in the iBP
Top 5 teams would be...
Kenobi can get this
If
pass.
Onslaught run with Espeon,
Lechino to follow it up.
then it would literally be the top 5 in the standings, which is iBP, Kings of Urban, Genesis, Vexx, Onslaught. But if Onslaught don't run with Espeon, then I'd put Mucket NA ahead of them. Fake! Yes! Oh, beautiful. That was like in my head, I'm thinking, please fake. This is the perfect opportunity to fake. Because look at somebody flying off the wall. All you have to do there is fake, and you get the goal 100% of the time. I'm so glad that he did that. I hadn't seen this before. That's brilliant.
This is some next level Rocket League. 4-1.
Nah, yeah, man. Doomsy tweeted that he's going to play the second qualifier. He's coming home from his vacation early.
But still very possible.
I don't think it's possible.
You don't. Okay. No hope.
Oh, but yeah,
whatsoever.
Cux, I
There
don't
it
think
is.
that... Oh,
Putting-
wow.
Taking the words out of your mouth and saying, I'm going to rip up.
Make me look bad. You can see here that one Lechino missed.
Why is Kronovi on the wall? Like, Lechino's already on the wall. You don't need to go on the wall if your name is Kronovi. You just need to chill at the back post and wait for something to happen. Try and make a save in a reactive situation where Lechino misses. But what I was going to say was Cux. I don't think that you speaking would fix all of F3's problems. Far from it. But I think for you, as an individual, in the long run, it would benefit you and your future Rocket League career if you start talking in-game. I think that's the #1 thing for me to advise you on. Because you're still a great player. And I mean, I listed off top 10 players in the world earlier on and I had your name in it. Because I think what you bring to Flipside, it more than compensates for your lack of communication.
The Dominus touch. We're gonna have
Very few players, if anyone in the world, could replace Cux in F3 and make the team better. I would struggle to think of anybody. Maybe Scrubkilla or Gambit.
Would have been a great scoring opportunity if he did. The Turtle.
Or Yemen Keppa.
Gambit to Kronobi to Gambit. Can't put it on target.
But some good touches there.
But even then, it wouldn't be like a better team. It would just be like a similar team. It would just be very, very similar to the flip side with Cux, because Cux is a fantastic player. His grind shots are underrated, because he often gets, credited for being an aerial player, but he's actually got some of the best grind shots in the game. Best goalkeeper in the game, bar none.
Oh, that's a big redirect opportunity, but Gambit is there.
But yeah,
Solid
get
defense from
talking,
iBP Power.
Cucks.
They're not letting junk
Trust
go
me.
into the net.
Just trust me on this one.
Seconds left. It's gonna be very, very
It's alright, yeah,
hard
man.
and
I've just
very
said, I
unlikely for
repeated
Vexx
myself.
to
I
pull
said that
back.
you should join F3
Pass
and get
to Garrett. If he can get a touch, he's just going
get
for
yelled
moves.
at for being a rage
Trying to,
kid
but Turtle pushes
by
the wrong way.
two
Maybe a pinch
by
they were
two
looking for.
louder
But with 1 second left, it is impossible at this
voices.
point. Nice shot
What a
though from
touch.
Garrett. He just wants
This
some
is
points. That's
Garrett's
great.
aerial game
Garrett
is
says,
super
"I don't
good,
care if
man.
I'm losing, I wanna be
It's great
on
aerial
TV
by Garrett.
with this
Look at
awesome
this
goal.
guy.
See Garrett, just
Holy
that read
cow.
right above Gambit, dunks it in. Beautiful play. Although Vexx is not going to win that game, that was a little small moral victory.
But yeah, Cox, I've been talking to Marky a lot and trying to help him with his game, and I don't know how much he actually listens to me, and how much he just uses me as like an echo box to bounce thoughts off, because I know that a lot of our opinions and a lot of our thoughts are similar. But I've been trying to help him with some of his flaws. He knows about his flaws, though. I was talking to Mike after my last RLCS VOD review stream in my Twitch chat, and I don't know how much of what I had to say to him he took to heart, because next thing he said was that I should label or disclaim all my videos to be satire and that nobody should listen to me, so I was like, oh well. Oh well. I guess rip Mike, uncoachable, right? Mike should put a disclaimer on all of his games that nobody should learn or look what he's doing because he's a terrible player.
Definitely better than having one, as you just said, but Turtle stopping that shot from Gambit and Kronovi, the power shot. Gambit couldn't get the backflip, could have been a score.
I have reached out to Mike a few times. I want those guys to succeed. I just want, like, Rocket League to be as competitive as possible. I've helped lots of teams. I've helped lots of teams.
That pass just had a little bit too much on it. If Gambit could have passed that out a little softer,
Am I a pro player?
Gambit with a shot.
Oh!
I saw that coming from
Well, I
a while,
mean,
but just misses.
I've been paid to play this game, so I don't know if that makes me a pro. I would say like I'm a semi-professional Rocket League person because I make money from the game.
Turtle getting thrown away, but at least he got the stop. That's wide.
But no, I wouldn't call myself pro. Oh my goodness.
Garrett, you need those goals early on.
You gotta score those, Garrett. You gotta score those.
That is heartbreaking if you're Vexx.
Alright, you're asking me if Mike and Mark can listen. Yeah, no problem, Cox, no problem, dude. But yeah, as you probably know, me and Marky are good friends in real life. I've met up with him more times than I can count on both my hands, so we've had plenty of conversations. Kronovi doing what Garrett could not do. I'm just kidding, like I'm just getting Mike back for burning me. I know he can take it. It's a great finish by Crow. Mark can listen. Mark can listen. I don't know if Mike can. I don't know if Mike is coachable, but Marky definitely is. Marky's definitely.
Oh, that's going to be another goal on the scoreboard. About 2 seconds later from the other one.
Vexx needs to stabilize this.
Marky's just stubborn, but he is coachable. Oh, what a shot! Well done.
He loves to flip around that one. No reason to be upside down, except for he wanted to. Just adding that Lachinio flair.
Well, it must be a Canadian thing. It's those spinneroonies. We love them.
Get out of here with that.
Garrett trying to touch that.
This has been more of a Twitch chat review than a VOD review today, which I don't mind as long as you guys aren't too sad that I'm not going into as much detail in these games as I was last week. Kronovi should never ever be flying at this. Why? Why is he doing this? What is he hoping to achieve? Let's just. When does it happen? Okay. He's already in the air. What on earth is he trying to do? Somebody tell me. I don't understand this. I don't even know, man. He's now put himself with Chino and Gambit in like the smallest quadrant of the game, of the pitch rather. They're all like right beside each other. Oh, I don't have theater mode on. There we go. Somebody should have told me. Man, this is just like, it's this kind of thing. Like, even if he does get to this ball and make contact, he's going to hit it straight into the wall and it's going to bounce middle for no one because nobody's center, because Gambit's already in front of him and now he's also in the corner and Lachinio will have to go in for probably at best a 50-50. I don't even know, man. It's like such a low percentage shot and now they're all like way overextended because he threw himself at the ball again. And now Gambit's basically 1v3, but he's probably fine because he's Gambit.
very good spot.
Man, it's these low percentage shots. They just should not be going for these. There's like maybe one time at 100 is that working. Oh, it doesn't matter though because Gambit's a god.
Oh, he just
Doesn't
it all
matter.
himself with this play. You see here, Garrett didn't get the greatest clear. Gambit touches it to himself and just puts
Yeah,
it over J-Rod. You
Skippy,
could see
that's me.
Garrett
That's me.
actually
I
got
told
caught
Marky
right
to look
on
out his
the
window and I was there.
wasn't able to
Because
get
we used to live like 2 minutes away from each other. Like literally 2 minutes away. We met in Rocket League and Twitch, and then we found out that we live like 2 minutes walk away from each other. So one day, I just went to the shop across the street from his flat because it's like the 24-hour store that I live nearby. And he looked out his window and I was like, hello. He's like up on the 3rd floor just like, hello, waving down at me. It's funny. And then we went out for drinks like a couple of weeks after that with him and his flatmate.
They're just not able to get many shots on net. Oh, almost reading that off Lichinio.
Well, I mean, I'm not always making fun of Kronovi. It's just like Kronovi's got a bad habit of going for low percentage plays and throwing himself at the ball for no reason. And I also point out a lot of mistakes Lichinio makes. I'll say, like, if you watch my caster for Rocket Royale on Thursday, which I'd recommend you guys to go and watch because it was great games between Vexx and iBP. Again, another great Vexx versus iBP series. I love watching these two teams play. Oh! Holy cow! What a touch by Lichinio.
Here, look at this touch that he gets as well.
The theater mode made it worse. Oh, hold on.
To mess up both players from Vexx, and then he bikes it in bicycle.
Sorry, it was rubbish. I don't know why it didn't do the proper theater mode. My bad. Sorry for messing up the overlay, guys. I didn't notice. But yeah, I've been heavily critical of both Kronovi and Lichinio recently.
And Kronovi with that self-goal. Gambit needs to get one himself. But let's see if they can do that.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see Cooks. What if he's trying to make opponents wait for a touch and make Gambit clear? Oh, you mean the Kronovi touch where Kronovi just like flew into the corner and then did nothing? Nah, I don't think there was ever a good reason for that. It looked to me like Kronovi was just trying to read the bounce and get there first, because a lot of the time I feel like iBP are just like, oh, let's just get to the ball first, let's just win every race to the ball because we're all gods in the air, and it's like a pride thing. It's like, we must win every ball because we are the best. And he just put himself in a really low percentage position, which was risky as hell. And I mean, it was super risky. Lichinio and Kronovi were in the goal at the same moment. They were literally inside the goal of the opponent's team in 3v3. 2 players inside the goal. Need I say more? It's like good luck with the 1v3 Gambit, but then Gambit's good at that, so it's fine.
Game is heavily in favor of iBP as they look for that 4th win in this series of 5. Kronovi to steal that away.
Yeah, Cooks, go get some sleep, dude. It's alright, I'm not going to trash talk you when you're away. I'm not going to make fun of you. I've said all I need to say about flip side.
Back out to Garrett with a shot. Very good play.
Actually, what set this up here, as you could see, there was a demo. Somebody went for Lichinio. I'm not sure who it was. It was J-Rod.
J-Rod making Lichinio jump. Kronovi could have saved that. He just backflipped by mistake. If he double jumped, he would have saved it.
So he wasn't able to rotate back to make that save. And now 4-1, still looking a little bit
Mate,
for Vexx.
you keep criticizing Latch and Crow for their crazy playstyle, but look at the scoreboard of the game. Maybe you're missing something. The scoreboard means like it's not like it's sometimes indicative of who played the best. But the thing about the scoreboard is the scoreboard doesn't subtract points for doing retarded stuff. It's not like, oh, I scored an own goal, minus 100, which it should be. It should just take away 100 points if you score an own goal, maybe even 130. Let's say you shoot it at your own goal, it should be like, ha, minus 30. Unless it was a deliberate pass. Like, you can't just look at the scoreboard and be like, haha, this guy got the most points, he's the best. Because you don't get subtracted points for being an idiot. Like mispositioning and going for more stupid aerials like Kronovi. What was that? What was that? Look at this. It's just so ridiculous.
Dreams can come
From the other end, and that's going to be another goal. From the other
Vexx's zone.
This is just such a low percentage shot, man. Kronovi, right now, Kronovi's job is to get recovered. Just get back into the midfield so that Gambit and Lichinio, like Lichinio's probably going to try and center it. Gambit's going to come in and try and get on the end of it. Crow needs to rotate out right now. Right now. But he doesn't. He drives into the corner. Well, he's like going for, oh my, I don't even know, dude. This is like such a low percentage play, and now nobody's in the middle to contest that ball, and they just get scored on.
Goal!
Straight up, just
I mean,
ridiculous
dreams can come true.
decision making from Crow right there.
Their dreams are
And I mean, I've got nothing against Crow. Like every criticism that I'm making, I'm hoping that he hears this and that he changes his playstyle and plays more safe, because I'd love to see him using his incredible talent. He's got a great natural ability for the game, really smart when it comes to learning. But I just feel like something's gone wrong in this iBP team, that they feel like they have to go for every ball for some reason. And at some point you've just got to let them go and say, right, this is something I'm going to let go.
Oh, could have been a scoring opportunity, but both attackers for Vexx missing that, and that's not.
And I mean,
what
overstaying in front of the other team's net, it makes your teammates less useful, because your teammates behind you are waiting to go in and use their boost and be aggressive, and they can't because you're overstaying in front of the other team's net, which is something iBP do far too often. Do you think there could be a better NA combination than Crow Gambit and Latch? Absolutely. I think that they just need a more defensive player instead of either Crow or Latch. Probably instead of Latch, because I don't think that Lachinio Gambit +1 would be very good for the in-game communication. I think Kronovi provides a lot of stability in that regard. So maybe Crow, Gambit, Pluto could be better right now, because they're just too aggressive, and they don't get punished against teams like Vexx all the time. They did get punished in the Rocket Royale knockout stage. They lost 3-2 to Vexx. And they didn't get punished today against other NA teams, because the other NA teams are just pretty outclassed by them. But when iBP go up against the best of EU, they're going to struggle, and they have struggled in the past against Mocket EU, who just played defensively and counterattacked and swept iBP. iBP versus Flipside would be interesting though, because both those teams love to be aggressive.
Vexx needed one more win to be able to clinch it, so their future's a little bit in jeopardy here, Gibbs.
Yeah, Vexx is in trouble because now Genesis is only 3 games behind them, plus Genesis owns the tiebreaker.
Garrett's car was very like your car, Pluto. He had the alpha hat, the camo, and the alpha boost, I believe. Did he have alpha boost? I think he did.
They'll be rooting for Kings Urban for sure.
We talked about how crucial some of those games were, and now it's paying off. So them not
yeah, I mean, you can do that if you subtract the points from the goals and the assists, because oftentimes you'll have player A passes to player B, who passes to player C, and then player C scores. And of course, in that sequence of events, player A will be awarded maybe 20 points for a center ball, player 2 will be awarded like 70 for a center ball and an assist, and player 3 is awarded like 150 maybe. Like, when all 3 of them, in fact, were equally involved in that goal. So points is very misleading sometimes, but mainly because doing stupid stuff doesn't subtract points. Also, being a solid midfield interceptor doesn't give you any points either unless you center the ball.
So did Crow, so did Latch. They all came up big throughout this set. And as the set kept going on, it was just a giant like snowball effect. And Cosmic just...
I'm sure that Gibbs will whip iBP into shape though. He's a smart guy. And I know that he's just going to watch all my videos and tell him what I say. Kappa.
After we kind of critiqued him on not having any shots, he put 2 away following.
And yeah, it is true. Like, if it's 4-0 with that much time left, it doesn't really... Like, when it's a really one-sided game and it's getting to the end of the game, I stop, like, analyzing too hard, because at that point, teams are just like, well, YOLO. That was a great fake, and I think I called it in the game. I was like, fake, 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 and he did it. It's like, yes, good decision. Because the player was coming off the wall with no chance to recover if he did go for the fake. So well done by Crow right there.
And they all showed up throughout this set.
Yeah, we expected Garrett to show up. Difference between him and Turtle was actually only a 2-goal differential.
Why would Kronovi listen to me? Go and
Only because of those last 2 goals at the end.
look. There's a Reddit thread. I posted a video of one of my analysis videos of
Really exciting to watch.
Kronovi versus Scrubkilla 1v1, and Kronovi endorsed it with no, like, there was no reason for him to do so other than the fact that he thought that it was a good video. So Kronovi does listen to me. So get it up, you.
Oh, you'll see the highlights for sure.
Oh,
It'll be out there.
Yeah, Latch has been playing like out of his mind.
Well, we got a big matchup coming up. Our final broadcast of the day. Kings of Urban will be taking on Mocket. Mocket could finish as high
Oh, here we
as
go.
2 in this
I know it's
one, or
coming
they
up.
could
I'm
be
excited for
eliminated
this one.
completely. Don't go anywhere. More Rocket League right here on Twitch.
Fireburner maybe? Yeah, you could put Fireburner in there with Crow and Gambit as well. I think Pluto outclasses Fireburner in the terms of like
Our normal is 200
speed and mechanics. The
100 degrees.
Fireburner is a very smart player as well. They're definitely quite close. It's quite similar playstyles also. Except they both suck at shooting off the ground. I saw Pluto doing a 1v1 tournament on hoops against Marky and he was just like, man, I can't shoot off the ground, I can't pop it. And then Marky was just like rinsing him. Yeah, Pluto, you heard your name. I was saying that I'd put you instead of Lachinio in the dream team. So there you go. Sorry, I'm catching up in chat right now. I'm just scrolling through it. I'm not a complete random. Alright, yeah, it's probably gone, but good night, dude. I'm just catching up in the chat, then I'll skip ahead to the next video. Oh, I like that comparison, JV1696. You don't need to be a chef to decide if food is good or bad. I really like that. Never thought of that before. I usually just give the example of, like, you don't need to be, like, literally a better player than somebody at a sport to coach them in it. Like, there are successful managers and coaches in all kinds of sports who were never, like, professionals in that sport. And you can be a coach in one sport and then take your skills to another sport, which you never played. The skills are transferable and you can learn how to be a good coach without ever playing the game that you coach in. Like, I'm a champion level player, probably. That's where I peaked at before I dropped a little bit recently. I got to like champion division 4 on EU, playing 2v2 by myself, not even a teammate. So that's where I got, if anyone's wondering what kind of level I'm at. I heard Chronovi, somebody linked me a VOD from Chronovi, or just a snippet from Chronovi's stream one day, and said, or is Chronovi saying, oh yeah, it was in context of keyboard and mouse players, because I play with keyboard and mouse, and Chronovi said, oh yeah, Johnny's good, but he's not on a pro team, and I was like, well, you're wrong on both accounts, my friend. I do play on a team, but I'm terrible. Low 5 spoilers? What's low 5 spoilers? Majority of pros become pros through being highly self-critical. Yep, you're absolutely right. Alright. Later's VB Killer, thanks for the comment, dude. But I think of KOU's stability as a team right now. I think the Sad Juniors never looked more at home in a lineup. I was surprised by how fast he meshed with those guys. Although it's not surprising given that they just have a lot of fun with the game together. I do think that they struggle when Fireburner's not the last man back. They don't look very solid defensively. Sad and Jacob are not as good at challenging the ball as Fire is. And they're also not as good at positioning or like stalling to give teammates time to recover. At the same time though, Sad and Jacob do cause a lot of chaos up front, which chaos causes defenses to make mistakes. Crow Gambit Scrub Killer? I'm sure it could work. Getting royalties off these commercials, I'm getting nothing, dude. Yeah, I heard about that, Pluto, about the hoops bribe. The Scrub Killer from Dundee, nice, from Edinburgh. I just sit in the goal, I do Gibbs impression for Gambit and Crow, I'm sure we could be pretty solid. I'm not a garbage threes player on my day. I beat SA 8-0 once with Scrub Killer and Flarky. We 8-0 Doomsy, ELMP and Kasabi, that was a good game. Won the best of 5, 3 games to 2 as well. Yeah, Mourinho was a garbage football player and he's one of the best managers of all time. I mean, Pluto, let's face it, you're probably getting rinsed on any map. Probably. Marky usually shows up for the finals. In like practice games he sucks and then he just shows up and dominates in the final every single time.